Welcome to Pedals to Pistons. It's almost October. The road's still dry and I'm just making the most of getting out for an afternoon. I've been busy this morning, just taking my son cycling to test the knee out, and I've got a couple of hours to myself, so I thought I'd go out on the bike. Now, as you know, I've got a Z900 SE 2022. I'm at the stage at the moment where a lot of new bikes are catching my eye, but I love this bike. I'm really comfortable on it. The shielding from the wind probably isn't the best, but I can put a taller screen on, but I think that kind of messes with the aesthetics. Since it's been tuned, it's a different bike. It's a lot more responsive. It's a lot noisier as well. But that isn't the reason for looking at a new bike. There's a lot out there. In my biking history, I've only ever ridden a GSXR 600, a Z1000, a Suzuki B King, a CBR 600, a Yamaha R1M just for a couple of miles, a Yamaha MT-10, and a Z900, which of course I'm on now. The MT-10 was a test ride last year. I liked it, but I'm just not sold on the seat. So I thought, I've got a couple of hours, I'll do my favourite loop, and I'll pop out to the KTM dealer. Now, there's a lot of naked bikes out there. Kawasaki have just announced their new Z1100, which makes 137 brake. Now this, after the remap, is 132, 135, can't remember exactly, it's in the video. But it looks nice, it looks like the old Z1000, but I kind of want to try a different manufacturer. My last big bike before this was a Z1000, which I fully customized. I'll put a picture up here. And yeah, kind of, that was at the time the first Transformers movie came out, so I imported the House of Colour paint for Bumblebee from the States and had a Bumblebee paint job. And it was a stunning bike. It sounded lovely with the Campbell Customs on, but I kind of want something different, but I'm not too sure. I like the KTM Super Duke, really appealed to me in how they look, but I've never ridden one before. Never ridden a V-twin. Or the MT-10, if the back end was sorted, would appeal properly. You've got the BMW S1000R. Now, a couple of friends have got the S1000RR, and they're very nice bikes. And I am quite taken back for maybe having a look at one of those. And then, of course, you've got the Ducati Street Fighter V4. Now, the reason I got into the career I'm in is because I always wanted a Ducati 748. Now we're talking 2005, and I got into recruitment, and I had a picture of a Ducati on in front of my computer to make me wonder why I'm selling every day. Get me through those cold calls when I wasn't picking any vacancies up or earning any money. So there is the appeal of a Ducati, but then on the flip side, do I keep this and get an old Ducati 999 and get a classic coffee bike that I can just ride on a Sunday when the weather's nice and have something nice to look at, and I have this for hooning, because this is a hooning machine. But I'm just not sure. I'm in two minds. So I'm heading out. I'm on my favourite road. Well, it's my mate's favourite road. They got me into it, and it's a great road for riding. It's the Gunnislake. I'm currently on the Tavistock Road. We're heading out to Gunnislake. I'm going to do the loop back and then into JD Racing in Saltash. So I thought, use the afternoon, go and have a look, see what it looks like. And one thing about bikes is the colour. There's just something about black bikes. My last bike obviously was bright yellow. This is black and green. I've had a couple of bits of paint touched up on it, and it's lovely, but just like black bikes. So there's that option of going for the KTM Super Duke. You've got the 1290 Evo or the 1390. The only problem is the time of day I've just come out is 2:30, 3 o'clock. The roads are busy. It's not ideal. Ideally, if I'm heading out, I like to go out about 6 o'clock. Roads are a bit quieter. But unfortunately, you got to make do and get out whenever you can. As you can see, this bike's got a lot of smiles per mile. I mean, the remap was 500 quid, and it's turned it into a different bike. I mean, it pops and bangs, which is nice. But I just kind of want something different. And I might regret that. But then this, yeah, stunning bike. So I'm just really unsure. Now, I don't want to go in the hole without test riding anything. I didn't actually test ride this before I bought it. I just went in, put a deposit down. Obviously, haven't had a Z1000 before. The 900 wasn't going to be much different. Although there is 19 years difference between this one and the one I had before. So obviously this one's got traction control, different rider modes, although the traction control is off. Yeah, if it's raining I'll turn it on, but I don't tend to ride in the rain. So yeah, we'll see. I really don't know. Any of you naked riders, what bikes have you got? Has anyone got a super naked? What do you think? Any recommendations? Do I stick with the Z? Or do I test ride a few? I think in my head I want to test ride a few and do the comparable differences. So I'll obviously ride this to the test ride, take one out, and then see what happens. Now, one of the bikes I was going to test ride, there was a Kawasaki open day a few weeks ago at one of the local merchants, and I booked in for a Z H2. Now, the Z H2 is a beautiful bike. Not quite as naked as I like. Still got quite a big front fairing, but I thought I'd go out, have a test ride, see what it's like. And I got to the merchant and rode the bike out of the car park, and it went into limp mode. Literally, it hadn't even got a mile. So it was a lead demo. So I had to literally limp the bike back. They couldn't say why. They didn't have anything else for me to take out that I wanted to have a go on. So I might want to test ride one of them. But it's a big heavy bike, and I don't know about it for the hooning, but then I haven't tried it. Next year I would like to try some a couple mini bike adventures with putting the tent on the bike and just getting out on my own. So yeah, just kind of muddling away at what I want to try really. There's also, one of my friends has put it in my head about the Aprilia Tuono. Now, that is a beautiful sounding bike, but at the same time it's got quite a faired front end, and I don't think it looks quite as naked as, say, the Super Duke, this one, the Z9. The MT-10 kind of looks like a Decepticon, which I quite like, but it's just I can't fall in love with the seat. That bench seat at the back. Now, If it had an R1 back end, then that would be a different story, because that R1M back end is absolutely stunning. Now, there was an MT-10, a category N one on Copart last week that literally didn't look like it needed a lot of work, but I wasn't successful in the bidding, unfortunately. I was outbid, because it would have been nice to go slightly old Street Fighter style and buy one that's been written off and then make it my own custom paint job and spend some time working on it once the garage is finished. So it's just, there's so many options now. Sports bikes I don't really find that comfortable, but just having like one of those old Ducatis would be nice. But then there's also the option, do you keep this and get a supermoto for green laning? Do I get something? Do I go and get something for like 3 or 4 grand and enjoy some winter green laning with the boys? Now, I've never tried a trials bike or a supermoto, but some of the lads do it and say it's a lot of fun. So there is that as an option as well. It's so many decisions, and it's almost like it's not a midlife crisis, because if it was a midlife crisis, I'd be out buying something that I couldn't afford and yeah, getting in shit with the missus. But yeah, she doesn't really know how much things cost, but then I've just said that on a video, so hopefully the traffic is all gonna peel off. Now, the other option, and that's the other option, as I mentioned, keeping this. There is something about this bike. So, it needs a new battery, so I need to spend that. So, do I stick with this, upgrade the brakes, because it's still got the original brakes on it, upgrade the brakes, perhaps get some Hell calipers, Hell master cylinder, drop about £1,000 on the brakes, and then ride the ass off of this for the next year. You know, I've only been riding again for 18 months, so do I keep this for another year, ride the ass off it, get my confidence completely back up, and then get something new? Because it's moments like this on this road that make me feel fucking happy, and I do love this bike. As I said, you can't go wrong with it. It's just when you see something new that looks that magpie mode, you know, when you like the look of something. And I will admit, I love the way the KTM sounds. I love the way the MT-10 sounds. Just, you look at those bikes and you think, they sound amazing. The exhaust on this sounds great. It's just quite like the engine, different engine sound. And I'm 6'2", I'm 17 stone, so it's kind of like the sports bikes I don't really find comfortable. Woohoo! I tell you what, this bike makes me smile. It's done in the winter and it just can't night. Johnny can't read, Johnny can't write. It's just another style. Now, I ride with one earbud in as well, which allows me to hear everything around me, but at the same time gives me a bit of music. Now, after a stressful week, it's quite nice because I've put my phone into a do not disturb mode, and I've got music, I'm notification free, and I can have fun. Like I said, the wind batters you on this bike, and it's the original screen, so it's not very tall. So I could get a new screen, but I just think it really does mess with the aesthetics. And it's, let's be honest, part of the appeal about bikes is how they look. Now, my previous Z1000 was jacked up at the back, which did affect how it turned in, but it made it look a bit more aggressive. And 20 years ago, you didn't get as much stick for your number plate like you do today off the police. So I had the number plate mounted on the battery tray. So I put the number plate light on the battery tray, and yeah, mounted the plate there. I bought that bike, and it was the old black and red 2003 Z1000. Looked like it needed a shopping basket on it. The exhausts were long, like a couple of missile tubes, and I went completely through that bike and changed it. Unfortunately, children come along, and when children come along, sometimes your toys have to go. Oh, just started getting a bit down. So I have to maybe put rain mode on and see how bad the rain gets. I got my summer jacket on. Now, that's something else. With my recent weight loss, my jacket is hanging off me. I need a new jacket. So I could keep this, ride the tits off it, and then invest in all new gear, which could be a good idea. It's just decisions. Woohoo! Ho-ho silver! Unnecessarily. Into the average speed camera. Oh, 30 miles an hour. What's crazy is we cycled this route, and you can come through this route on your push bike faster than the speed limit. You know, cycling fast is exhilarating. When I was getting the motorbike, my missus was like, "Jay, motorbikes are dangerous." So I showed her a video of us doing 50 mile an hour on push bikes wrapped in lycra with our little helmets on, and said, "Do you think lycra's going to save me at 50 mile an hour?" I know it's a bit a bit of a silly argument to use, but that's what I use with her. Oh, we're on. Let's go. Also notice when you're on the bike now how many people are smoking weed as they drive, because quite often you you get a waft and your helmet just filled up with essence to stoner. When there's no people walking around you, it's so blatantly coming out of a stoner's car. Now, the smoking and driving, especially weed, that's got to null the senses a bit. I wonder how much it is in comparison to drink driving. Now, I will admit, this road is beautiful. It's one that we ride all the time. I've got a couple of mates who are very good riders, and one of them will quite happily sit behind me, give me pointers, pick up where I'm going. As I said, we cycle this road quite a lot. Quite nice on a Saturday morning. Get the push bike out, hit this road, very quiet, come up through Hat, come out over there. It's beautiful. But then we ride it a lot on the bikes as well, and it's really helped my confidence. Ride this road a fair bit. I ride it on the push bike, ride it on the motorbike, and it's one of these roads that you come out and you get to learn, and it can really help with your confidence. Now, I'm lucky to have some good friends. One of them, when we're out, will quite happily ride behind me, give me some pointers, and also following through the corners. And one of the bits of feedback he gave me was I was braking too much, I wasn't using the engine enough, so I was quite high up in the gears, and I was using my brakes going into the corners more than I was the engine, and it was unsettling me. Now, riding today, I have felt a lot more comfortable than my other rides that I've had on this road. I don't know whether it's because I'm on my own and I don't feel any pressure of riding with others, but then I don't feel that normally anyway. It could be just that, you know, familiarization, as you do stuff more and more, it grows on you, and you get better, you develop the skill. But I have really felt comfortable today. So, you know, sat on that knife edge. New bike, ride the shit out of this one. New bike, ride the shit out of this one. New bike, get some new gear, enjoy this bike, maybe put some new brakes on it, and put the money in the bank. Or keep this and get a classic. Well, a classic sports bike to ride for coffee now and again. But it's almost a waste of money. But then still, it's nice to have these things. Right, we're going to call that a day. I'm going to go and look at some bikes. See you later.